Recording, Mrs. Ryan.
Cool.
I'm recording, Kate. Producer Kate's in the house. Roll it, Hal. Yeah, she is.
Thank God.
Hello.
Hello.
Look, you can see her foot a little bit there. It's the Rockettes, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
hello,
my.
hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. Hi, Mrs. Ryan.
Hi. Welcome
Hi,
back,
everybody.
everyone.
What's going on? No, sorry, I almost lit a rocket there. I didn't mean to light.
I paused.
Woo!
I'm paying attention.
Good cat. No, it would have been all me. That would have been my blunder. How are you doing today, Mrs. Ryan?
I am doing so great today. We've been up for a while, so it's gotten me comfortable, like on my groove.
Yeah, you get up wicked early anyway every day, but today we had a remote shoot out at TLG Auto over with Marco and the guys. So,
which is, it sounds so silly because it's not like energy. I'm not running, but like
Yeah, but we
it's
were
not meditating in my room either, which is what I normally do when I get up really early.
We were in a Porsche garage at 8
Yeah.
o'clock this morning. So, yeah, no, that's a little bit different than just chilling out.
It was really
Anyway, hello, welcome. I'm glad we're here. I'm really excited that Kate's back, producer Kate, in three-dimensional form. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus the cutout. Oh, here's the irony. Well, we'll talk about it when you get in here. But the irony was you had us plug that company, and that was good and great. But if you flip the card over, they're a car wrap company. That's like the other half of the business. They do it's carwraps.com, and those are our people. So we can actually use that. This is a good plug.
Let your people know.
Yeah.
It worked out.
All right. Well, let's see. We've done that. Shoot, I had like 2 or 3 things for nailed it, and I forgot. Do you have anything for nailed it? Oh, shit, that's not it. Nailed it.
I have a question. What day is it? Did we do that already?
No, I'm trying to get away from it, but not enough that I don't actually say that every time you ask me about it. So today is Thursday, June 14th, to prove that it is actually today. I changed my opinion on something, so I'm gonna put that in the nailed it for now, and then maybe the other thing will come up.
Ooh.
Well, it's one of those where you just sit with an idea. You know, the people who make marketing ideas or whatever, people who work at places and make ideas, generally it's not just like here it is, let's go with it. You know what I mean? But yet that's how we all react. Oh, that's so stupid. Oh, that's retarded. I hate that. And that's ridiculous, for one. Everybody, stop rushing to judgment. Why don't we all just kind of observe? You know, take in the information. Shut the fuck up. Just observe. Yeah, but before you even get there, just.
Yeah.
I'm very bad at it myself, so this is a struggle. It's a struggle probably for everybody. But what I'm getting at here is, IHOP.
Really?
Well, IHOP. Now IHOB.
Right.
But I think they'll probably stop calling it IHOB, I'm guessing, right?
I hope so.
I mean, nobody's actually done that except for me right now, right? It's not like it's hard to read in print, obviously, if anyone is doing that.
I think out of making a joke about how silly it sounds, no one is saying it.
All right, well, there is one thing I will say before I get, well, no, I'm going to do my difference of opinion first. All right, well, think of the future, and this is a business, right?
Yep.
So you got to take out the emotion and the sentimentality of I used to go there with my dad and get pancakes with boysenberry and all the bullshit. You know what I mean? Like all the stuff that we're attached to with IHOP. When was the last time you were at an IHOP?
I think you took me there.
Because of the comedians in cars, we ended up going to the same episode. But before that?
I don't.
10 years? 20 years?
No, it was within the last, since we lived at the Venice place, because I went to the one that was on.
But again, it's a freak
10
occurrence.
Years.
There you go. Okay, well, what's the number one number one customer service franchise in the world right now as far as these fast food type places? A burger joint. How's that?
Gosh,
I gave it away probably.
Well, McDonald's is the go-to, but I don't think that's the real
That
answer
would have
anymore.
been maybe when this set was new.
Yeah.
Nowadays, actually, it was even Subway then. It was taking over McDonald's back then. Nowadays, it's Five Guys.
No kidding.
Burger joint.
Oh.
And McDonald's is going down, and all these other ones are going down. Maybe they see an opening. Maybe it's just going to become all right, IHOP doesn't work anymore, right? For the most part. I mean, in my mind, it doesn't because it's just carbs and sugar, and it's all the same. Well, just sugar.
Yeah.
It's just a sugar meal.
I happen to love pancakes.
And if you get steak with it or something, fine. Then you're getting a fat and sugar meal. I don't know. My point is, like, the burger thing is the burger thing is seems to be up and coming again for like these really good burgers, and the whole thing was that they signed a deal for like the best meat, the best freshest meat for their burgers and all
Who
this
signed
crap.
that deal?
IHOB.
Okay, see, that's what I didn't know.
IHOP probably signed it, but IHOB will be paying for it.
I meant to ask because to me that was kind of the elephant in the room. Like, did they change the burger recipe? Like,
Yeah, that's it. I think they're not just going to be better known for. They're just shifting what we're known for. That is what we all, I think, thought. Anyway, whatever. I don't want to stay on that, but. The flip to it was somebody on the social posted, because of course it does, why does this new IHOB look so familiar? With that like kind of, it's almost Dunkin' Donuts lettering. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of just bubble font.
Yep.
Except the OB is something else.
Oh, no, like a girl thing?
Looks the same thing, just with a couple dots, the periods. Oh, sorry.
I didn't even go there.
I didn't. It happened in real time.
For those who aren't sure, we mean OB tampons.
Yeah, or whatever products.
Applicator less. OB.
So how about that? I can't remember what the heck there was a nail. There was something that I was like, oh man, whatever that was, it was kind of silly, and I want to take it back. But whatever. That was nailed it.
That was a good one.
Let's do East Coast feed real quick, because Kaz has been sending in messages, and we didn't do a show yesterday, so we didn't get to it. But let's play his video from the day before right now.
Hello, Ryans, Mrs. Ryan, Mr. Ryan. How you guys doing? Steve Kaz and Danny here, reporting live from Danbury, Connecticut. We're about to watch a little Shaun of the Dead.
He's so fun.
Figured you guys want to be in the loop on this one, but you're probably filming your podcast because, today ends in a Y. And we want to make sure this thing works. So hopefully you're getting this, because last I checked, I can't tell if you're getting any of our feed. So have a good night, and Dana, say anything.
Anything.
Damn him.
Who's that other guy? I forget
That's
his name.
Dana. Okay, so these guys basically run the fucking BMW dealership in Ridgefield, Connecticut. Not really. Like, one's a service writer and one is the parts manager, I think. But they both they've both been there forever. They both are loved by everyone, and more so by the customers. You know what I mean? Like, they just...
Well, how could you
run that
not?
joint.
Like, if you pull... Yeah, I know you had a car appointment, Kate, and I know you...
And a BMW.
And, like, going to those places, and, like, I see that so much more now, how much that feeling translates when you're sitting in the room. Instead of,
just
like...
when you feel that you're
no,
taking
no,
care
buy
of-
this, you should buy... Versus, like... Come on over, man.
This is the weirdest thing. It's a weird, I'm almost calling it like new school, old school. Because they're not old school car guys where they're like, just buy it, it matches your eyes, you have to drive it home today. They're somewhere in the middle before this version where it's just marketing and everyone gets a car. Well, 3D print it today. What color, what size, what kind, what do you want? Exactly. They're kind of in the middle of just like, I just want to take care of you. I just want to have a relationship. Let's just be friends. Let's make sure that whenever we're together, it's a good experience. And people fucking love that.
Well, that's like
that's
the
why they bring
adult
wine
thing.
and food and desserts and all sorts of things. They know he's from New York, and he wears that on his sleeve. So like anytime somebody goes into the city, they bring back cannolis or, like I said, bottles of wine or. It's awesome. It's awesome. So Ridgefield BMW, if you want to meet that guy in person and you're in Connecticut, go to Ridgefield BMW in Ridgefield, Connecticut.
And for
Steve
the record,
Kaz.
he also is like super charitable and does a lot of really philanthropic
This is why we love him.
ideology and work and stuff. And
He runs the foundation Danbury Chive, which is a subsidiary of The Chive, as in like thechive.com.
Keep calm
it's an
and chive
official.
on.
Yeah, it's an official. They're an official franchise, and they raise money. They do what they would normally do, which is go out and have fun drinking with their friends, etc., and making the party bigger as it goes. And they do it for people who have cancer or a kid who needs an operation or like just good stuff. It's always whatever. I'm going on and on. Hi, Mrs. Ryan.
Hi.
Do you want to talk? Oh wait, should we do one more since we were talking about him?
Yeah.
Let's do one more.
Morning, kids. This is the East Coast Feed live with Steve Kaz, his two nieces in Central Park. Holding it down here, playing a little softball. This is how we do. We people watch. Ladies, anything else to add for the day? They're very talkative, as you can see. In the background, you can probably see some buildings. It's a
Central
little
Park
bright,
right now.
but we're going to go with that. You know, it's a lot of fun. This is how we do. Mr. and Mrs. Ryan, you have a wonderful day. Signing off from the East Coast Feed. Steve Kaz.
I think I've been there. I met him once after a game. And
Yeah,
I think that's where.
For sure, yeah. And then you went to that bar they always go to. I can't remember what it's called.
I don't remember the name of that place, but I do remember that. But we went to a sandwich place he frequents nearby-ish, and it was really good. So I forget the name of that too, but
East
let me
Coast
know.
Cold Cuts. I'm sure. Well, if he took you there, I'm sure it's spectacular, stellar, and he doesn't take anyone anywhere he doesn't put his stamp on.
No, I've gone out to eat with him, and it's always like, we have to have this.
Yeah, you go here
have
for
to
this,
go
you go here for this.
And then, so I full support of anything that he's like, this is food for you. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome. All right, let's. Can we do the news and then bring in Kate Post-Spitzer?
Yes,
All right.
please.
Well, Mrs. Ryan, what's going on?
What's going on? Da-dun-da-dun-da-dun. Okay. The news, first of all, people need to relearn how to write headlines. Just FYI.
People need to relearn how to write. I'm
Clickbait
noticing.
shit is for the birds. Sorry to my old profession. Okay. My first really long headline is radical plan to split California into 3 states earns a spot on the November ballot.
Well, how do you feel about that?
I haven't read enough about it to have a really informed decision,
Well,
but
but
the
it's-
one thing I read was like, yeah.
It's not new though. This has been around for
Right.
since I've moved to Los Angeles. I would say like late '90s, early 2000s. So it's been going around, but I believe, Kate, maybe you can back me up on this. The first time it's actually gotten this far. Yeah.
First time I'm pretty sure it's the first time we're
Back in like
Yeah, that's a big deal.
14, apparently the same guy was trying to make California into 6 states. So he
Perhaps
might
that's the
have
most
like
recent one I'm thinking of.
whatever. Like he's been doing this for a while. It's not new. Yes, but this seems the most logical and the most that people could get behind of like, yeah, California's huge and the rural parts of the state don't have anything in common with LA.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And it's so I want to read more on it, but it sounds
Can we secede as a
logical.
union instead? Would that be?
Oh,
just-
that would be ideal. I feel like there's a big component that would like that very much. Contingent.
All right, next one.
The next one, there was, I don't know, I don't have the print version, but the Hollywood Reporter did a lot of comedy coverage, and I just want to shout out because I know a couple of the writers and the really well done articles and
Awesome.
interesting people to talk to with interesting perspectives on.
Did you say the Hollywood Reporter?
Yeah.
All right, so we may have a dupe here. Great, let's go for it. What do you got?
Well, one of the headline that I first read was Ellen DeGeneres sets for a stand-up tour in 15 years. But that fish, you know how they all have links through whatever. First, I'm super excited about Ellen, blah, blah, blah.
Me too. I had that one as well. I want to say that as these things go, somehow I like just smell it. I was watching her old Johnny Carson stand-up and then her appearances on talk shows and then watching her old stand-up last night and the night before. Like
Really?
on YouTube. Yeah, like searching for it on YouTube, finding it because somehow it came up and I remembered her from that TV show Duets way back when Fox first
Oh
started
my
when it was like a real
gosh.
estate show and she was like the receptionist. I mean, she was nobody had ever heard of her. But that's when I first found her. And like when
wonder if
the
I
Fox Network
watched
first started,
that.
like around 1990, something like that.
Yeah, I liked her a lot then. Like, I loved her other shows, so I wonder if I watched
She
it.
was very, very funny, and it's funny how much different it is, and it's just human growth. You know what I mean? Like I believe both are authentic. I think it's just human growth.
Yeah.
And it's so cool. I'm
That's
a fan. I'm a fan of hers.
Pretty cool, and maybe we can head up one of her dates because all of her dates are in August and they're all West Coast, like
Cool.
San Diego to somewhere, San Francisco. I think they're in that range. But it dovetailed me into this other click link, whatever, that was also about her by virtue of Live Nation is producing her tour. And one of my, someone I really admire and that we've worked with, Jeff Wills, was the guy that Lacey spoke to for this article that was
Yes, I have
all
a-
about Hulu or Netflix and like the takeover of stand-up and comedy and stuff.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Yes,
Because I
please.
have something specific from that Jeff Wills interview that I
Okay.
wanted to talk about. You probably can smell it out already. Gosh, I don't know. This is probably going to be controversial at best, but Louis C.K. he was asked
did not read
Can
that.
Louis come back? Jeff Will says yes. Of course he can. Absolutely. Mainly, his opinion was because take all the inappropriate out of it. I know you can't do that from a judgment standpoint, but just we're only looking at it for a second. Taking the inappropriate nature of things out of it. This is a guy who's always told you that he was doing this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, all right, but he's not lying about it, and then it's a weird I don't know. I get it. I get it. And it's sort of been my argument from the beginning.
Yeah.
The work stuff, and if you're pushing yourself on somebody, like all of that, completely inappropriate. I can't get behind it. But if you've got weird sexual proclivities and you're asking somebody, like, isn't the right thing to do to ask somebody, hey, you came back to my room and, like, I think we're going to do this. Is it cool if I do this? It's a weird thing for me because it's like in my mind, and like, well, if you got a little weird shit in the bedroom, isn't that how you would handle it? Isn't that the responsible way?
It's responsible. This whole thing, and I actually am one of the, I think, at least in my purview, like few women that agrees with you. And apparently, Wells, I didn't read that far into the article.
But I'm not saying Louis K. didn't Louis didn't do anything wrong. I'm not trying to say that at all.
Totally.
Okay.
And the fact that Jeff said anything similar, like I really respect him as a man and as a comedy guru, which is what they called him in the article. And I'm so glad, Lacey, good job. But I agree in what you're saying that, like, he's been honest and he's been vocal. He hasn't been honest by omission.
I think every one of his stand-ups has involved some sort of masturbation. Can I masturbate in front of you? I'm going to masturbate all over this place joke.
When we first talked about it, and with
I'm not saying that's okay, but like he's telling people that this is his thing, and then people are surprised when it turns out to actually be his thing. I feel like the audience has an issue on that one.
I have a lot of opinions on this. We don't have to get stuck on it, but I do think that a big thing that we struggle with is like be clear with your words. Be clear with the context of your words. Also, is kind of an unspoken. How I always forget the yes. It's the yes and. It's like it's the baseline that needs to be. I think too many people are quick to say, "I know what he meant. I know what you meant. I know what you mean," and it's like, do you?
Right, you think you do.
What did they actually say? Because they might, you could be right. They could mean what you think they mean, and they use the wrong words. I do it a lot. But they also could mean what they say, which means you're imposing your own judgments about what you think they mean on what they're saying.
Whatever. Either way, it goes
and
both
so
ways.
it changes it. So I do think he had more questions to ask other than, would you mind if I whipped out my dick? But like in the context of comedy writing.
That's fair too. That's a good point too.
If you just think you're there for a comedy writing meeting, it takes on a different tone than.
Now I agree with you. So it does. It's the context and everything else. Anyway, can he come back? Yeah. That was the opinion, and I happen to agree.
What I got stuck on was the question was something along the lines of like, what's the biggest, like looking forward, what's the biggest thing in comedy? And he was like, the quote was, international. Chris Rock did it. He changed everything 10 years ago playing in London.
Yep.
And I got stuck there patting myself on the back because I told Chris to go to London.
Yeah, I believe me, that was a big light bulb for me also. All I think of is you used to talk about like how when you went on that tour, it was crazy. It was crazy. He was huge international.
He was
and
crazy.
People said that wasn't going to work.
Everyone domestic was like, I don't know. Your comedy, your funny might not translate.
Yep.
And he and I talked one time, but probably on the set. We used to talk a ton of stuff because he was right. It was like, you don't get paid, yes or no, whether I do anything. So like,
you're an honest answer.
Yeah, and I was like, who says that you speak English? Like your comedy, your funny is breaking down language.
Yep.
They speak the same language. Like the breakdown has to be similar.
Luckily,
and your movies have worked overseas. Like you should go.
I was going to say, I'm very happy that boundary is broken because some of my favorite comedians are quote unquote foreign. You know, they're not from here.
Right. Totally.
Neat.
Yeah, there's some new specials out that like I didn't know who they were, but they're foreign, and I love that it's crossing. Correct. These are fast because I really want to hear, but you might like these too. Kim Kardashian West pushes White House for more drug sentence commendations. That was from NBC News. Here's my reason for putting that out there. I find the whole thing kind of questionable, but I do kind of land always on however the good shit gets done is where I go, okay, Good shit got done.
Good for you.
Awareness was brought to the right part of the issue.
Okay.
If we leave it there, if we choose to look at what the good that came out of it, it's ridiculous how it happened. But some
Yeah.
good shit came out of it, I think.
Okay. Well, good. That's one. Anything else?
The last one is Dirty Jean Smart, who I'm a big
Designing
fan
Women?
of from Designing
Blonde
Women.
from Designing Women.
Yeah. She was
a
on
million
Craig's
other
show
things.
too. That show that we brought East Coast Kaz to that
Mr.
one time.
Robinson?
Yeah, Ms. Robinson. She was the principal, I believe. She's a great actress and very serious. She is going to play Connie Britton's mom in a show that's kind of an editorialized version of my murder shows, Dirty John.
All right. Let's reconstruct that one more time. There's a new murder show coming
Headline:
out.
Dirty John. Jean Smart said to recur as Connie Britton's mom in Bravo true crime anthology series.
Cool.
Yeah, so heads up.
That's awesome. I'll just add to that Jeff Lewis and Gage have been sued by their surrogate mom
I saw that.
over hurt feelings.
Oh,
Yep, I know. Specifically, that Jeff said on the air during the birth that if she knew she were going to be on camera, if he knew he were going to be on camera, he would have gotten a wax, especially on such a big vagina.
I remember.
I believe was the tag on that. Now she's pregnant. It's wrong. But it's Jeff Lewis. Now here we go again. There's Jeff Lewis being Jeff Lewis. Yeah, he's a dick, but do you sue him over it? I don't know.
I read something different, which made the whole thing sound bananas. Like I didn't agree to have the kid on camera. And it's like you.
Oh, yeah. There was something about she didn't expect to be. I don't know how you show. Yeah, I don't know how you have a childbirth and not see a vagina. It's tough. Some trick photography. Well, you didn't, sure, but if somebody were capturing it, I would imagine they might have gotten a glimpse.
I feel like if you agree to be a surrogate for a famous person who has a reality show, who
And they're
lets
doing it on the
everyone
show, the
into
whole thing.
everything, and it's
Yeah.
a storyline on the show,
I agree.
maybe there's, at the very least, questions to be asked so that you don't end up in a bad situation.
Yep.
But we'll see.
I agree. I totally agree. And that's it. And that's it. And that's been What's Going
That's
On.
what's going on. Da-dun, da-dun, da-dun.
All right. Let's see. We will be back right after this, and Kate Post will be here.
Woohoo.
Kate Post Spitzer, excuse me. I always forget that. Sorry about that. I still go to your working name. Sorry, Andrew. All right. We will be right back with Kate Post. And we are back
Dun,
with
dun,
Kate
dun,
Post.
dun, dun,
Yes,
dun.
hello.
Hello.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my dears.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Has
me
it
back.
changed at all since you've been here?
Just a little bit. And I'm sure you've talked a lot about this in previous episodes, but it is very cool to be sitting at the Letterman desk.
In chairs that like Don Rickles and you name
Do
it,
they
right?
smell? Have you smelled them?
Yeah, they smell like
Like
the Ed
Don
Sullivan
Rickles.
Theater.
Yes.
No, because they've been in storage for 20 years. They smell like a museum.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, that we probably
So
could have
cool.
fetched a fair amount for the Dustbuster bag that I emptied when we, because it was just so much different color hair. I mean, so much celebrity DNA.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
You
I
could
just.
probably, you should have sold that on eBay. You would have made a fortune.
Well, I didn't say we threw it out.
Gross.
It could be in a Ziploc
Dude.
bag for somebody.
That's good. That would be, someone would buy that.
'Cause the truth is, we did throw it out, but I don't want to miss out on this eBay idea
Oh,
here. So I'm like, well,
darn
we
it.
could put some shit in a bag. That's no problem.
Right. Yeah, nobody needs to know.
It could be, in a month we'll do them again, and it'll be all of our people's hair.
That's hilarious.
All right, Kate, how the hell are you?
I'm good. I'm really doing great, actually. How
You've
are
been
you guys?
Good, thank you. You've been super busy work-wise, and it
been.
looks like personal-wise as well. I want to get into that stuff, but I don't want to leave here just yet.
Okay.
Well, because you're helping us a little bit with this, and you've been talking to Mrs. Ryan
Yep.
about having, because this is what you do for a
Yeah.
living.
Yeah. Well, we were talking, and I have so many people that I work with and that have interesting stories to tell. And they're not
You're good.
necessarily going to be famous people, but they're going to be interesting people that I can lob your way every now and then. And
I love that.
yeah, happy to do
I
it.
find that non-famous people are usually
That's our bag,
the
baby.
owner of better stories, at least that
Yeah.
they're willing to tell.
Yeah.
And that's,
The stories haven't been found yet, which I like.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of celebrity stories have been told, and yeah, you want to hear them for yourself and have somebody tell
Right.
them on your show. But like, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
You're not getting any new content. It's sort of talk show masturbation, if you will, in my opinion. Whereas, I don't know, that's sort of the reason we have the conversation is, yeah, sometimes it's a little slower than maybe a fast-paced interview show, but sometimes the magic comes out, and then we get on something where it's like, oh, man,
Yeah.
that'll be great on the anniversary show.
Right.
Well, there's also so many stories that go, probably you have them, you must, of like everything that goes into everything that we love about the shows. Like
Yeah.
those are where the stories live, and it's not to give credibility to anything higher or lower. It's just different versions of stories that people haven't heard yet.
Yeah.
And that's fascinating because, like what you were saying, it's like they're not the stories that you've heard 100 times. They might be tangentially
Right.
related, but they're
Right,
not
but they're
the
not-
same.
Yeah,
So
so it's not the same old boring stuff, That's what I like about what you guys. Oh, hello. Sorry. And that's what's been so interesting about work lately is that the projects I'm choosing to consult on are all passion projects. They actually mean something to me, and that was the shift that needed to happen.
Yep.
Was picking things that I believe in. Don't really, I just feel so much better kind of having made that decision.
Don't you almost karmically, like universally, don't you feel like you're living a more honest life?
Yeah.
In a weird way?
Absolutely.
Like you're square with the
I
universe?
feel square with the universe.
Yeah.
The email, like the energy that came through with your email was, I almost wrote back 100 times and I was like, Jay won't know this. But like the truth, like that's how I remember you sounding when you worked on shit you liked. And it was so refreshing to see that again
Yeah.
from you specifically,
Yeah,
but
it's
again
been kind
in general.
of a drought,
it's-
of that. There's just been a big deficit of working on things I really respect and admire, and these are things I want to really help with. And again, it's not about money at this point.
Right.
I won't see a dime.
Once you let
Very-
go of that, though, it
I
seems to
don't
be when it
care anymore.
unlocks. Though.
Yeah.
Once you don't care about that and start moving towards your passions and
Yep.
doing the things you care about, it's weird how the levees
Yeah.
supposedly just kind of, I don't know what happens.
No, it
Something
does happen.
happens.
It does happen. In fact, it was so funny. The other day, I got a note from Entertainment Partners, the payroll.
EP, yeah, of course.
They sent me a note saying, you didn't cash 2 of your paychecks from some ABC show I worked on or something.
Bravo.
Do you want us to reissue them? I'm like, yes.
Yes, please.
But where are the original checks? I don't know, which has me a little nervous about my bookkeeping skills. That I just like don't.
Well, maybe they were lost in the mail. You never know.
They maybe, but yeah. So they reissued.
It's not.
two
It's not. Yeah.
checks.
It's yeah.
It's kind
None
of-
of us are in the habit of like, oh, where is that $20,000 check anyway?
Right,
Because I
right.
haven't found it.
It was only like $400. It wasn't even a lot
Yeah,
of money.
still, that's 400
But I was
bucks.
like, oh, there's money. It just came out of this guy.
Absolutely.
It's pretty rad.
Yes,
Take it when you can get it.
totally.
What other stuff are you working on right now? You sent some links that we watched.
I'm consulting on a few projects. Well, the first one I want to mention, and we don't need to spend all this time talking about all my projects, but we went to Cannes Film Festival with a short film that I was a co-producer on, and this is written by Mike Costner and Ryan Stephen Hawley, are two up-and-coming writer-directors that I've been consulting with for about 4 years now. And we originally...
Creatively consulting, or
Yeah,
oh,
I've
cool.
been creatively consulting and just guiding and helping and you know, not helping, whatever.
Yeah.
They don't always have to listen to me. But we originally started with this beautiful feature film script, and we were sort of not sure how to make the feature. So I brought a producer named Gabby. You know Gabby Lugo, now Gabby Lugo. She came on board and suggested that we make a short film version of the full length to try to sell the concept a little bit. It sells the concept more easily because you can kind of see what the film will look like. And
It's not a commitment, right?
right. So we made the short film version of that, and that was at the Cannes Short Film Corner. It's hard to say. And so I was there looking for financing for the full-length feature, and also met...
Did we bury the lead? So you were just in Cannes.
Yeah. I was in
So let's go
Cannes.
back that. So I just got back from Cannes,
I
and
just got back from
where I
Cannes,
was.
where I was a hot
There
mess.
we go.
Where I was a total hot mess. I'd never been to the festival before, and things just kept going wrong the whole time. It was kind of funny, and also just the first thing that happened was I left my phone in an Uber
Not in Cannes.
in Cannes, and
That place is
You're
hard
sure to get it
enough.
back.
A, for anyone who doesn't know, it's in France. And second of all, like, it's a crazy, sophisticated festival with, like, so much red tape.
and so many people I needed
And
to meet
so
up
many
with
people. Oh, you
and
left your
find
phone.
and all this stuff. So, but what was so amazing is I met all these great people that helped me all day. One of them being an ocean conservationist who had a film
that
there as
guy.
This
well.
is the guy that we want to have on here.
yeah.
His partner, colleague Nicole, was actually the one I met in Cannes. I met him, Chanel, after post Cannes
Okay.
here. But she helped me by sending messages to Mike Costner and Ryan and helping me get in touch with everybody. And
Oh, because you don't have a phone.
I don't
oh
have
my
a phone.
gosh.
I mean,
Oh
can
my
you
gosh.
imagine?
No,
It's
I'm
like-
already like language barrier,
It's
and
bad
you're like,
enough if
and I
you-
left
yeah.
my phone somewhere.
Yeah, if it's bad enough if you lose your phone here and you're in Vaughn's or something and you can't. It's like hard to stress. So
Well, Cannes probably has an Apple store on like Sundance.
I
You
know, I know. But what was so amazing is I met all these great people, and my Uber driver returned my phone to my hotel in Antibes.
Whoa.
It's incredible.
So you got it back.
I got it back.
That's
Shout
incredible.
out to your Uber
Yeah.
driver. That's so nice.
I gave him 5 stars and a large tip. But
That's very cool.
But that part of the festival was me surviving, kind of, and figuring it all out for the first time without having any resources or anything. And I kind of thrived
Good for you.
in that
yeah.
chaos. I really enjoyed
Bet.
it and met some really interesting people, and it's led to some other things. And so that was cool. That
Isn't
was
it, whether it's forced or not, I'm sure it was inconvenient, but isn't it nice to not have the phone
Yeah.
and then have to interact with people?
It was really nice. I forgot how good I am at interacting with people.
It's a skill.
Yeah.
It's a marketable skill, especially
Yeah.
these days where the kids don't know how to do it anymore because they
No.
grew up doing this.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I was happy to.
That's why you sent me a picture. Actually, this is a good time, right? You just got back from
Yeah.
Cannes. Should we put that
Oh yeah,
card
it's
up?
pretty funny.
All right.
This picture's funny.
Hilarious.
I was with
Anal.
this comedian. We were hanging out with a comedian named Katya, and we just thought it was really funny that
It's a really good picture.
it was
of you.
pouring with rain too.
I'm assuming you're covering the sea, right?
I'm covering the sea.
Yeah.
Poor
Canal
canal.
Plus.
Poor canal.
They're doing fine. They are re-releasing the H. Did you see that?
Which one?
The
What?
staircase.
No, I want to. Is it good?
It's
I just saw it. just saw that I could watch that just yesterday. What was I watching yesterday? I can't remember.
Probably
But
Netflix.
I was watching. Oh my god, I can't remember. I think I was listening to a podcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was that?
Sorry.
Did you almost make a joke or something? Or is there coffee on the end of the... Oh, it's
No.
not coffee. I forgot.
No. I just. I was trying to remember the name of the podcast, and I'm listening to so many. I was like, which one should I say? 'Cause
Oh, there you go. What an honest answer. Good for you.
there's too many.
That's totally... It's Cupcake Wars, but let me just say Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
There's a bunch that have brought it up, so you might be safe with just about any of them.
Yes. Well, I've been listening to a lot of Sword and Scale, which is a really disturbing murder mystery show, and I wonder what's wrong with me.
Are you into the murder mysteries too?
Yeah.
Is this a female thing that I don't know about?
I
'Cause
don't-
She
I
is
think
too, and then a
maybe-
lot of her friends. Well, no, Barry's a guy though.
It seems like a human study, really,
Yeah.
is how everyone I've talked to, like Daria, whatever, you and Kirsten, like, it seems to be more about the humanity of the situation versus the effect of the situation. So.
Yeah, it's not. Granted, when I'm, I'll be cleaning my house or something, listening to Sword and Scale, and they're like, and they chopped this body up into a million garbage bags that were found by the side of the road. And you're like, I'm like, why is this entertaining to me? I can't wait to listen to the next one.
Where do you land on that? Because you didn't answer the question before. You're like, I can't wait to answer the next one. Where do you land on why is this entertaining?
I think it's because we want to find answers. I think we as people are primally, we want to know, we want to seek the truth, we want to find answers, and we also are fascinated by the macabre and how people can just go off their rocker and lose their shit and kill someone. That's crazy. I mean, how many
Interesting.
times we all have the ability to kill. Like right now, I could kill you. I
Yeah.
won't. I won't.
I
love
appreciate
you.
it.
But we all have the physical and mental ability to do that. And
I mentioned we're live on YouTube right
Yeah,
now, right?
yep.
Okay,
Hi,
good. Just
everyone.
making sure.
but we don't, because we're normal, we're not psychopaths, we don't act on
But you have the
those
ability
feelings,
to.
but everyone
Right.
does. And so it's
So
that
what flips the
fascination
switch?
with what flips people to the extreme, which is to me just crazy and fascinating.
Well, it's interesting because that is fascinating without a doubt. So, but it's different for everybody because everyone has a different, right? A different.
Of course.
So it's
Yeah.
it's and the bubble's going higher and higher and higher up the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, don't the tolerances have a lot to do with it? So just because this guy killed his wife because he didn't like pancakes, wanted burgers. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, maybe his thing, but maybe there were 6 other things, or maybe that's your point. That's your point. You're taking
Right,
in
the
all of this
trigger.
data. Oh,
Yeah.
so you want to have as many of these as possible, so you figure out how not to get murdered, or how you all can murder us.
Neither.
The first one is what the My Favorite Murder ladies say. It's a precautionary, like, let me just know the lay of the land so that if
Okay.
something pipes up as feeling similar, I'm prepared. And there have been a bunch of stories of like people that listen to the show seeing something and like going up to the woman who, like, there was someone hiding behind someone's car and she's like, stay sexy, just whisper to me, stay sexy, don't get murdered, meaning we're on the same page, we both listen to the same podcast. There's a scary dude behind your car. I'm like, that's really neat that like people are
Did you
more
follow all of
aware.
that?
Oh, did I go off?
No, I don't know. I'm asking because sometimes I don't, and sometimes I'm
I was
asking.
thinking about it, and I was thinking that when you said My Favorite Murder, is that the show with Karen Kilgariff? Oh, I haven't listened to that yet. She was married
Is stay
to a
sexy
friend
a
of mine.
thing that she says? Is that like a
Stay
girl
sexy,
code
don't get
to each
murdered
other?
is their sign off kind of that they use on the show, but it's become
Because girls are the intended audience, as this is a precautionary measure. I see.
sorry, yeah.
No. You said it all. I'm just putting. I may be reordering it a little bit, but I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. All right. So this is a service then. This is I mean, it's at the very least, it's being positioned as a service. I like that.
Yeah.
So it does come down to how not to get murdered. You guys want to find out how not to get murdered, right? Because it seems to be like, I want to find out where his level is so I can go just to here. This is from my experience
Right.
being married.
Yeah.
Spouses, be it male or female, I find push buttons and find boundaries, right? You
Yeah.
find where the
Oh,
tolerances
God.
are.
Yeah, don't we?
Oh, it's just here. I'm gonna go one above it, you know.
It's like the episode of the episode of Sword and Scale where
here we go.
this couple was having an affair, and they decided the best way to continue the affair would be to kill the husband. And so the man, the guy she was having an affair with, made banana pudding laced with arsenic.
Nope.
But it probably doesn't taste good.
And sent it to, and the wife's like, okay, dear, here's your lunch. And he goes off to work. And then the guy she's having the affair with calls her and says, I'm scared. I don't think we should do this. We're going to get caught. And so she calls her husband at work. It's like,
Don't
"Hi,
eat the
sweetie,
pudding."
Don't eat the pudding. And so he just throws it out. She said, it's gone bad. Don't eat the pudding. And he throws it out. But he was literally like that close to just dying at his desk unceremoniously with like Nilla
So
wafers
this
on
show
him.
is even close calls. This one you're talking about. It's not even
Well,
people who went
eventually-
They
through
killed
and
him
killed
later,
them.
right?
They kill him later.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just not right then. They
Not
got-
by arsenic.
Yeah.
Again, I
His
feel like
bread
we
pudding.
buried the lead. It's a guy who ultimately does get killed, but in the first attempt.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm all happy about that guy and his lack of pudding.
I know. But one of the other projects I'm so in love
Oh,
with.
good. We're back to that. All right.
No, up to you. What do you want to ask?
No, this is great. I'd love to talk about your project.
I grew up in Claremont, where the famous skateboard park pipeline is. What?
The whole system is crumbling down.
We should probably wait. Cut.
No, I'm good.
I know, right?
I was laughing because I wrote down, where are you from?
Oh.
Sorry.
Do you need me to give
No.
you the Heimlich maneuver?
Nope, continue.
Okay.
What would you get out? She's only drinking water.
Get out some water.
Does it work that way?
I don't know. I've never done it on
I
anybody.
think it's for if you have
Only
something lodged.
Resuscitation
lodged.
Annie's the only one I've ever actually
Oh,
done a Heimlich on.
yeah.
Well, I would read up.
Or Sally, whatever
Maybe
her
take
name
another class before you actually administer it.
Okay. Noted.
All right, I want to hear what you're working on.
okay.
And then where you're from.
Okay, well, I'm
Claremont.
from a lot of places. Austin, Texas, and Claremont mostly. But at my friend's memorial service that I went to, we reconnected with some old friends.
Way to bring it down.
Sorry, I had to get past that. Remember last time when I was here, and we.
Oh shit! Yeah,
Yeah.
you were really
thanks for
down
the
last time
empathy.
because there was a lot of stuff going on. You were in a bit of a fog about it.
I was, and I'm feeling better now.
I should have
I'm
watched
still
the last
sad,
appearance.
But, right.
I got that's probably a thing people do. That you have to
do,
watch their last
yeah,
appearance. Oh, God
you
damn
do.
it!
But yeah,
We need a producer.
it's okay. I can just tell you.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks. That works for you.
anyway, so reconnect with some old high school buddies, and one of them's a producer who's working on this documentary about the Pipeline Skate Park, and he's got all this great footage, archival footage, interviews with Chris Miller, who went to my high school.
So you grew up there, but did you actually go to these places?
Yeah.
And you were hanging out there.
My
and
brother
everything?
was a little skater punk, and I would have to go and pick him up, and I'd sit there and watch the guys skating, and they were all so cool and classy and hot, and I loved it. I never been on a skateboard myself because I have
Ever still?
Well, once, but I fell off, and it's just not my. I'm better with I have other sports, and but we're doing this documentary about the skate park.
So you
pipeline.
got involved in that.
I'm involved with it, and I'm helping shop it around. 'Cause
Awesome.
We just need finishing money and a few more hefty interviews. But we got, he already has like Lance Mountain and Steve Alba and all those skaters have already been interviewed. So
Is that a full-length one or another short?
this will be a full length.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be the best skating documentary ever in all of
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
That is
That's a high price.
incredible.
I'm joking. But yeah, it's cool because it's another passion project because it's about the guys that grew up in my
I love it.
hometown and so that's another really cool
So that's
one.
through Pitching Post then too, right? Or
Yeah,
is Pitching
eventually
Post still
it
a
will
thing?
be.
Or is...
It is still a thing. It's just yes, I guess it's through Pitching Post, but really I'm just helping my friend Tobin shop it around.
Good for you.
Yeah. Should be
Plus,
cool.
it's somebody named Tobin.
He's pretty awesome. Tobin Kirk. Yep.
Where
Hi,
on the name
Tob.
from?
I've only known a couple Tobins in my entire life. I mean, it's a rare name, isn't it?
It is a rare name. Yeah.
All right.
I should ask him where it comes from because I don't know.
I don't know either.
Another passion of yours, music. Are you doing anything music-wise? I know you guys used to play out all the time. Is that anything happening?
We have just been playing in our studio out back.
Good.
And I've been actually doing much more painting than music lately. I've been going out there and working and.
So do you paint in the studio as well? Good,
Yeah.
very cool.
What kind of painting do you do again? It's not oil. Is it oil?
It depends. I actually I mix stuff together. I painted last night. I have paint on my arm. I use tempera, or I use oil, or I use acrylic, or I mix different things together. I kind of use all different mediums, and I love it. It's just relaxing. It's kind of.
Do you listen to music, or do you just breathe? How does it work?
Listen to music. I just breathe. I talk to friends. It's kind of my time to just chill out and decompress.
Like leave the phone on the table and you paint? Or
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'll do that sometimes. Yeah, certain friends. So, yeah, that's been good. I haven't been doing enough music though. I really need to get into that more. I've been playing a lot of piano, just in the house, classical piano, which
That's nice. That's
it's
still
very
good.
nice. The neighbors are so cute. There's an old couple out across the street, and they'll like sit on the front porch and
listen to you play across the street? Oh, it's so nice to live in a quiet neighborhood where you can actually do that.
Yeah, when the construction next door stops, and they can hear me.
Is somebody redoing the place next door?
Oh yes,
Light remodel.
constantly everywhere in my neighborhood. They're redoing everything.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's good, I guess, right?
Yeah.
For you guys.
It's good. Good for
Because you did it first, didn't you? Just redo your whole place?
Yeah,
like
kind
a year
of.
or so ago.
Yeah. We did the kitchen and the front yard, and
Well, which becomes the living room and everything else. I mean, because it was a cut through. So.
Yeah, it's much better. You've seen it.
I love your house. Yeah, absolutely
We
love your
have
house.
to get you there to visit your drums. I think we talked about that last time.
I would love to come visit yours and Andrew's drums, absolutely, or whoever's drums they
They're
are,
yours.
absolutely. But
They're
I would
still
love to see you guys. That's actually on here. Andrew and Maya. How is the fam?
They're good. Andrew's working like crazy, and surprise, and Maya is about to finish elementary school. So
I saw the pictures that she's going to be a middle schooler. First of all, she's almost as tall as you.
Yeah, she's so tall.
Really? Is she that tall?
Yeah, she's up to my chin.
Jeez.
And she's the tallest in her class.
Was she 12?
She'll be 11 next
11.
week. She's going to be 11 on Tuesday.
That's insane.
I know.
That's
It's
amazing.
So cool. She's so awesome. I'm really proud of her.
Can't believe she's 11.
And she has straight A's right now, but I shouldn't tell anybody that because it's like, oh, great, talking about the grades. But I'm really proud of her.
You get the sticker on your car and everything?
No, I will not. I am not a proud parent. Why do people do that? That's so proud parent. And it's. I mean, how many times are they going to be on honor roll? They have one bumper sticker, and does that
that's
everything
the thing.
go to hell after that?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think you only need to make the honor roll
Expectations.
once to get the sticker, so you could make it first semester freshman year and then just hang
never
on to
again.
it. Sure.
Yeah, but then you could be an F student after that, but your mom is still like, I got the bumper
There was a
sticker.
lot of those driving around me when I was in high school.
Oh, really?
There's a lot of like so-and-so such school, like honor roll students. Like, when did you get that? Because your bumper sticker's really old and almost falling off.
Yeah, I don't quite get the bumper sticker thing. Like the ones that have the family members.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh, I can't do that,
Jesus,
yeah.
you're fertile. Like there's, 5,000 children streaming across the back. I'm like,
What you tend to be a thinker. You know what I mean? You tend to think you're political. I don't want to talk politics if that's all right, but you tend to have opinions and beliefs and stuff like that. So I love to hear that you're following your passions more so even with the projects that you're taking. Would it be fair to say you grew up kind of a hippie kid? Because I feel like you've said that. I see the pictures of the Volkswagen, the Beetle,
Yeah.
and I just hear you
Yeah.
now being willing to trade in your lease and drive that Beetle every day.
I
You know?
know. I'm so tempted to also because my dad's going to give me the Beetle back really soon.
What would be your as a hippie turned I've been an entertainment industry person and now a mom doing all of the above, hopes and dreams for this marble? It can be yours, can be for everybody.
Well, I have advice for people. One thing is, if you're a parent, don't ever sign your kid up for that elf on a shelf bullshit. If you want your life to become a living hell, do not give in to the elf on a shelf, because you will wake up at 3 a.m. every night until Christmas in a panic. Do you even know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I think we might have. But you're saying.
I'm just joking.
Don't do the elf
Don't
on
do
the
the elf
shelf.
on the shelf. No, but growing up in a professor with a professor as a dad and a mom who is an academic as well, and they were hippies in the sense that they had incense in the house, and we went camping a lot, and she made her own sourdough bread.
Love all of this.
I know. That gives you that environment encourages creativity and being a free thinker.
Yes.
Which is what I do in my own home with my daughter.
Yes.
And I think the more people have the freedom and luxury to think creatively, the more they will find their passion projects and stop caring so much about I don't care anymore about the big credit, about the big Emmy award winning. I've already done that, right?
Right.
So it doesn't matter anymore.
Right. I'm
free now to do things that mean something to me personally. Ocean conservation being absolutely number one, like top of my list.
Huge.
If we don't figure that out, we are dead. Or our grandchildren will be dead.
No,
Or
that's
that,
straight up.
And so putting
The whole. I mean, I could talk to you about this for days. I figure we'll probably do it when we have so and so on, at some point, right?
Oh yes. I was like, who is so?
I don't know. Well, because I don't remember anybody's names,
Yeah.
but you have
Nicole
a.
and
There you
Chanel.
go.
Yeah.
I am one of those believers that, I think I'm more of a James Cameron type thinker, where we know what we know because this is what we have.
Mm-hmm.
If we were water breathers, the Earth is a liquid planet.
Yeah.
We just have some exposed rock.
Right. Because we have less.
I mean, a
right.
liquid surface
No,
planet.
You're absolutely right. I think we definitely came out of the ocean. I mean, I
but
don't know about you, but
all of the universal question why and all of that stuff, it's not going to be found up here, in my opinion.
Right.
We are the minority.
we are.
It's
Yeah.
going on down there, and the fact that we're fucking it up. I believe. Did you ever see the movie The Abyss?
Yes.
Okay, well, I
love
full
that
straight up
movie.
believe the
Yeah.
movie The Abyss.
Yeah.
Like people believe the Marvel universe and
Yeah.
stuff today. I believe The Abyss.
Yeah.
I believe that we fuck it up long enough until it starts to turn on us, and it's going to
Yeah.
tell us, "Hey, man, knock it off," or
Yeah.
or bye bye.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And whenever I scuba dive, so I haven't done it in a while. I've been snorkeling a lot more lately, because if you're in a reef that's shallow, you don't really need to pay all the extra money for all the heavy gear. But there's been times when I've been down 50, 80 feet under the ocean and seen some extraordinary things. And it goes so.
And isn't
much
that like isn't
farther.
80 feet like a puddle, right? Because it goes miles down in
It's-
many places.
It is so overwhelming. Yeah, it is so intense. And I'm like, there's more than we even know, more than we know.
There has to be.
But people go to the bottom of a 9-foot pool and they're like, "Yeah, I get it." Like, no. It's not.
Yeah.
You're like, "I feel it in my ears. It's the same thing."
Yeah.
No,
No.
not the same thing.
I do have water in my ear because I joined it. This is really funny.
It's so good.
I joined a synchronized swim team
Oh,
called the Los Angeles Sea Stars, and we practice on Sundays at LMU.
whoa.
And
that's
I'm
right in your neighborhood.
really
sure.
new at it, so I've probably been with them only 5 or 6 weeks. No,
But
wait,
man,
months.
that has to be
How many months? I
hard.
don't even know.
Are you a swimmer anyway? Did you
Yes.
swim growing up?
So it's perfect for me because I played water polo and I
Oh.
did ballet. So
Oh,
this
wow.
is a combination
Water
of
ballet?
water.
Yeah.
It's perfect and I'm loving it. And it just always, and anytime I'm in the water, hence I love snorkeling and diving and everything, but I'm always so happy, and having this goal now is so fun. You have to come to one of my shows.
Oh, I can't wait.
It'll be so funny.
Do you remember the game?
Esther Williams
I just
style,
that's exactly what I'm.
Yeah.
I can't believe you went there. That's where I'm going with the music and everything.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was gonna. I skipped to. I saw a thing on Nintendo this morning as well in the news. Do you remember the Super Mario Brothers? Of course, you remember Super Mario Brothers. The
I
underwater.
can never get the song out of my head.
Okay.
Do-do-do-do-do.
This is where I'm going.
Oh.
The underwater. Do you remember those parts?
Yeah.
That always sounded like synchronized swimming music to me.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's like that whole
Totally.
thing. It was a weird way for me to just bring that in. But
So funny. I remember do 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 do
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
do do.
that's underground, not
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
underwater. You guys are right. You're both right. But
There's
that's the
an
underground one.
underground
Turtle.
underwater that is like that, but bloopy. Bop, 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 bop.
I remember.
It's like she's fighting me on this. I'm trying to say you're right, but that's the music when it would be underwater.
Right.
You're saying there.
I did the wrong one.
There was two underwater scenarios in Super Mario Brothers. I
For
know.
sure.
Yeah. Oh, I saved that princess.
Did you? Did you warp zone it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to warp zone it too. I'm pretty sure I solved it the whole way once.
I love that. I had one summer
Yeah.
in Claremont. I think my brother stole. Hi Dan. I think he stole a Nintendo from someone or something, and so we had this summer of video games because my parents didn't really want us to have video
Yeah.
games. I think we also had an Atari that he probably also got off the back of a truck at one point, and I played a lot of Pitfall. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I never had that one though, but I definitely other people loved it. It was like their favorite.
That was so fun. But also that song I can never get out of my head.
Oh, see, so I wouldn't know the song. What's the song?
Oh gosh, how did it? Dun, 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 dun. I'll have to send it to you.
No, I'd rather you hum it now.
I don't know that game.
It's not a good one to hum. It's just kind of.
When I saw pictures of it, it reminded me of a game called Jungle Hunt, but you would have to swing on the vines across. Isn't that the one? Pitfall, you're swinging over the holes and the logs and all that stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
With a little tiny backpack.
I never played
on.
it, but the pictures looked like Jungle Hunt, which I
Yeah.
probably had the generic
Yeah.
like Commodore 64 version
Maybe.
of it.
Before.
This is something I've been asking other people lately, and it has nothing to do with the person sitting in the chair. It's one of those things I ask it because one of these days there's going to be a way that Mrs. Ryan and I can help someone with it. So I'm going to continue to ask it. But unrealized goals? Any unrealized goals? Or dreams?
Unrealized goals or dreams.
And I asked where the impetus from this was like, I forgot that I wanted to do this at some point in my life, and now here I am at 40 years old. I'm fucking doing it.
Right.
It was an unrealized goal and dream.
I think that moving away from television and getting into film and documentary film especially is an absolute unrealized, now realized goal because
Wow.
I've always loved that medium. I love documentary. I love real life stories and how they really touch us in a way that, as granted, I love any type of entertainment. I love any type of film, but my heart feels so kind of content when I talk about some of these movies that are documentary in format versus working on a talk show, working on a sketch comedy show. So that's been a nice recent
Long form too versus
awakening. Yeah.
the grind of daily.
Yeah, exactly. And how there's such a process. I mean, it takes years and years
Yeah.
to get these things going. And it's so exciting to think about some of these getting made and other people being able to see them. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I hope that it happens. I'm very positive that that they'll all get made. But especially if we can find a millionaire that likes all these subjects and wants to invest in my company.
Sure thing.
If you're listening, millionaire.
I think you need more than a millionaire, right?
I need-
a
I
millionaire.
need
It's like you need like a.
I need a billionaire. I know these days $1 million is not a big deal, right? Isn't that funny?
Horrible.
Yeah, I need a gazillionaire.
People are writing a check for $1 million these days.
Yeah.
It's not what it used to be.
No,
it's
not.
crazy.
It's so weird.
One day it was like, one day when I have $1 million,
$1
like because then I've made it.
Yeah.
Like nowadays in LA, $1 million is like, oh, you're wealthy.
Yeah, ish. Yeah.
Maybe.
Eh.
I mean, you're gonna be someday. Nice starter kit. Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
So
yeah.
jaded.
Yeah, I know.
So jaded. Well, I love you. I want to talk more about the documentary stuff off the air, just for obvious reasons. And I know that you're pressed for time as well.
Yep.
Can we maybe? And we're at the hour mark. If you want to end it now, and maybe we have a little chat.
Sure.
And then you guys schedule when you guys come back. Do you have
That's
anything on
fine.
your blue card for Kate? And then I'm going to wrap it up after, if not.
Well, I do want to. I think I want to start a new segment, but I kind of want to see what you think. Like, what are you have a kid? Like, did you have any advice? Do you have any advice for someone? Like, what would your advice be for a parent of a toddler walking with them?
Good Lord. One bit of advice I have is, and I know people do this, but when they put their toddler on a leash, you are not helping your child by having them on a leash.
Right.
You're not helping them learn about
You're not helping the
boundaries.
parent either, by the way.
No,
All you're
neither.
doing is, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
this is not a get ready for the world
No.
type.
If you think your child needs to be on a leash and you take that kid to Disneyland, you're not ready to be at Disneyland with your kid. Okay? Don't do the leash. Knock it off, because it's teaching the child that they can just do whatever they want, and doesn't teach them how to come back to their parent. It doesn't help any independence, and it just, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, that kid's going to be fucked up.
Well, the kid will probably grow up tethered to something.
Yeah.
Like a phone.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Totally. Like, unfortunately, so many kids are.
Well, right?
I know, but that would be my advice. I think that parenting so far, knock on wood, I've done a pretty good job so far, as evidenced by how my daughter behaves in an independent way, how she can go now, walk around the block, come back. I don't worry about her. I worry about her, obviously, because there are creeps in the world, but I don't worry about her in terms of her respect for me, and I don't ever expect her to run off into a crowd. Even when she was 5, she learned how to behave and how not to run off and get lost at Disneyland, things like that. So that's, I think,
I'm so with you
if
on
we're
that.
talking about toddlers and walking, that's my answer for you.
That's a good.
Is that why you were asking, Mrs. Ryan?
No, well, my real reason for asking is because I relate everything to myself because I'm a narcissist. But I do think that I've sensory things that I'm relearning how to do, and I think that kids do that, and so I think it's an adjustment to like walk slower and be aware that like they're not always aware of everything you are, and blah blah blah. So I'm trying to wrap my head around if I don't have one, but like if I had a kid, like what would I do? Because I have to do the same thing for myself.
Right,
So.
right. Yeah.
But living in an untethered way is the takeaway that I got.
I
so.
think so. I
thanks.
think so. But then
How
again,
else are you going to strengthen, right?
Right. Exactly.
You're just learning, here's the safe space, here's the safe space,
Yeah.
here's the safe space.
Right. I feel like so many parents have just not allowed their child to fail and learn and get burned, and you have to let them fall.
We talk about this a lot on the show. I hate to make this about me, but one of the things about me was I was barely parented because my parents were divorced, and I lived with my mom and she worked, and didn't have that much of an interest in what I was up to. It almost, so the long and short of that is I'm gallivanting around New York City by myself at a very early age, taking the train to Washington by myself at a very early age, stuff like that. If I didn't have that stuff, I wouldn't be able to sit here and do all of this shit today.
Right.
So I can't imagine growing up on a leash, let alone with more boundaries than I did have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's great advice. I can't believe that I putting so much weight in. Don't put your kid on a leash. Good job.
No elf on a shelf. No leash.
Yeah, man, there's some passion behind
Nailed
that anti-elf
You
on
have
the
no
shelf.
idea. You have no idea until you've experienced.
Well,
what-
it's not teaching you anything good either. It's the same thing. I don't know. It's kind of though somebody's always watching.
It's cute, and I will say that her room is always very clean during Elf on a Shelf season because she thinks it's watching her.
Oh, so we skipped over this. So you actually do participate. You just hate it.
I do participate, and I fucking hate it.
Merry Christmas.
Because my husband and I are not always the most responsible people. So one of us will think the other one's taking care of moving the little creepy thing. And then we'll wake up at 4 a.m. Did you move the elf? No. Did you? God.
Meanwhile, she's up already.
And we
Oh
have
my
to
gosh.
sneak into her room and take it and put it somewhere else. And it has to happen every night for all of December. And it looks at me when I'm home alone.
Plus, it looks at me.
Anyway.
All right. Well, we love you, Kate.
I love you too.
I
Thanks
can't
for
wait
having
to
me.
see how this progresses with any involvement you want to have in this. Obviously, we want you to have.
Yeah.
I know that's already been relayed. But,
I would love to send some really interesting guests your way.
Yeah, and to be here for it and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
that
nice
too.
to have the energy.
I know it is nice. I
Yeah.
love you guys.
Thanks. All right, we love you, Mrs. Ryan. I love you. Anything else? Tomorrow's Breakfast Club. This is the end of the week. We didn't do a show yesterday. That was one of the nailed it things I wanted to talk about, and I skipped it. Tomorrow's Breakfast Club, and come on out to Newcomb's. 9, everyone always asks. They open at 9. Monday, Scott Chernoff. Next week, we've got Carol Leifer, Richard Chassler, and Marco from TLG.
Gosh,
Yeah, I know.
Do you know how we got Carol Leifer?
I think
We did a
she
show that
told
was
me, yeah.
that was sort of, we talked about her quite a bit because Mrs. Ryan wanted to, and
So awesome.
we talked about. I said, "Are you going to reach out to her? Are you going to tag her or whatever?" So she tagged her in the post for the day's show. Carol then responded back a couple days later in public saying, "I loved watched the podcast, loved it. When are you going to have me
I
on?"
love it. She's so cool. She was on that show All Right Already with my dad's godson, Maury Sterling, who's an actor on Homeland. They were on that show
She made
together.
that show.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
know you had an
Yeah,
affiliation
yeah.
to it. I've never heard of it until
Yeah.
her book, and
It was
she
good.
brought it up.
It was
yeah?
really good. And I met her at the Daily Show when she was promoting that show. And I was like, you're so awesome.
Did you do her segment?
I was the coordinator.
Oh, okay.
So I brought her coffee and had her sign a release. But
No
I told her
problem.
I knew Maury, and she's like, oh, I
Oh, that's
love working
awesome.
with him.
Well,
Yeah.
we are incredibly excited.
That's so cool. I might have to come and bring her coffee and be your coordinator that day.
Would you come that day? Yeah, it's
That
next
would be
week.
If I
great.
can. What,
Yeah,
what day is it?
Wednesday.
There you go. All right.
Okay.
We love everybody. Have a great weekend. See you at Breakfast Club. There's a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Pelican on Saturday. We are going to be there. And Sunday is something else I don't
Sure.
remember. That's right. It was something I can't remember.
Yeah.
But we will see everybody next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Don't pee your
Don't
pants.
be in your pants.